cliff above the patient sea, there stood a village quietly. The doors were old, the stones were worn, the nets still dried after the storm. The grandmothers no longer sang, no evening tune, no spoon's soft clang. The fishermen repaired their lines, but hummed no songs of older times. And the village grew quiet, so quiet day by day. The waves kept speaking softly, but no one heard what they would say. The bell still rang on Sunday, the children learned to sleep, but somewhere in the silence, the heart forgot to keep. Father held his child that night, but gave no lullaby its light. A widow watched the silver foam and fell to silence in her home. The little streets were full of peace, but not the kind that gives release. For peace can turn to empty air when no one leaves a song in there. And the village grew quiet, so quiet day by day. The waves kept speaking softly, but no one heard what they would say. The moon still crossed the water, the boat still kissed the shore, but songs that once lived in the heart were heard in town no more. Only the sea remembered all beyond the harbor wall. On a cliff above the patient sea, there stood a village quietly. The doors were old, the stones were worn, the nets still dried after the storm. The grandmothers no longer sang, no evening tune, no spoon's soft clang. The fishermen repaired their lines, but hummed no songs of older times. And the village grew quiet, so quiet day by day. The waves kept speaking softly, but no one heard what they would say. The bell still rang on Sunday, the children learned to sleep, but somewhere in the silence, the heart forgot to keep. A father held his child at night, but gave no lullaby its light. A widow watched the silver foam and felt a silence in her home. The little streets were full of peace, but not the kind that gives release. For peace can turn to empty air when no one leaves a song in there. And the village grew quiet, so quiet day by day. The waves kept speaking softly, but no one heard what they still cross the water, the boats still kiss the shore. But songs that once lived in the heart were heard in town no more. Only the sea remembered all beyond the harbor wall. One morning in a silver mist, the shore awoke to something strange. Old ribbons tangled in the rocks, and little bells the tide had dropped. A broken mandolin lay there, a paper mask with painted stare, a wooden music box half worn, as if from some forgotten dawn. Oh, what the fog brought in, the sea had kept so long. Tiny shells and faded ribbons, pieces of a song. What the fog brought in, no storm had ever thrown. It was as if the waves returned what the village had not known. A lonely boy picked up a shell and held it close and listened well. Inside he heard a woman sing, a voice both soft and glimmering. He did not know the melody, yet somehow it belonged to him. His great-grandmother's tender tune came floating with the morning wind. Oh, what the fog brought in, the sea had kept so long. Tiny shells and faded ribbons, pieces of a song. What the fog brought in, no storm had ever thrown. It was as if the waves returned what the village had not known. Then all along the salted sand, the people bent with trembling hands. Each object washed from out the blue began to sing for someone new. And silence cracked like painted glass as memory moved through every path. One morning in a silver mist, the shore awoke to something strange. Old ribbons tangled in the rocks, and little bells the tide had dropped. A broken mandolin lay there, a paper mask with painted stare, a wooden music box half worn, as if from some forgotten dawn. Oh, what the fog brought in, the sea had kept so long. Tiny shells and faded ribbons, pieces of a song. What the fog brought in, no storm had ever thrown. It was as if the waves returned what the village had not known. A lonely boy picked up a shell and held it close and listened well. Inside he heard a woman sing, a voice both soft and glimmering. He did not know the melody, yet somehow it belonged to him. His great-grandmother's tender tune came floating with the morning wind. Oh, what the fog brought in, the sea had kept so long. Tiny shells and faded ribbons, pieces of a song. What the fog brought in, no storm had ever thrown. It was as if the waves returned what the village had not known. Then all along the salted sand, the people bent with trembling hands. Each object washed from out the blue began to sing for someone new. And silence cracked like painted glass as memory moved through every path. The old fisherman heard the tide sing of his first boat on the night. His father laughing at the stern, the stars above, the lamps that burned. A widowed woman by the sea heard her wedding melody, the dress, the dance, the candle glow, a love the years could not outgrow. Each heart heard a different song, a road, a face, a place once known. Not one the same for everyone, but each returned what had been gone. The sea did not choose at random, the sea knew where each sorrow belonged. And every shell, every bell carried home a hidden song. A proud father standing still heard a lullaby he never built. The words he never gave his child came back upon the water mild. A young girl heard a carnival air, and all the masks hung everywhere began to tremble on the walls like little dreams inside the halls. Each heart heard a different song, a road, a face, a place once known. Not one the same for everyone, but each returned what had been gone. The sea did not choose the sea knew where each sorrow belonged, and every shell, every bell carried home a hidden song. Through kitchens, courtyards, chapels, stone, the melodies moved on their own, and people who had long been still felt old rooms opening at will. For songs are keys the heart once keeps, even when the mouth forgets to speak. The old fisherman heard the tide sing of his first boat on the night, his father laughing at the stern, the stars above, the lamps that burned. A widowed woman by the sea heard her wedding melody, the dress, the dance, the candle glow, a love the years could not outgrow. Each heart heard a different song, a road, a face, a place once known, not one the same for everyone, but each returned what had been gone. The sea did not choose at random, the sea knew where each sorrow belonged, and every shell, every bell carried home a hidden song. Proud father standing still heard a lullaby he never built. The words he never gave his child came back upon the water mild. A young girl heard a carnival air, and all the masks hung everywhere began to tremble on the walls like little dreams inside the halls. Each heart heard a different song, a road, a face, a place once known, not one the same for everyone, but each returned what had been gone. The sea did not choose at random, the sea knew where each sorrow belonged, and every shell, every bell carried home a hidden song. Through kitchens, courtyards, chapels, stone, the melodies moved on their own, and people who had long been still felt old rooms opening at will. For songs are keys the heart once keeps, even when the mouth forgets to speak. At night the shoreline turned to gold, the fog grew bright, the wind grew slow, and from the waves with ribbon grace a quiet creature showed its face, made of foam and fishing thread. Moonlight laid upon its head a shell-shaped mask, a silver nose, thin pale arms like drifting clothes. And the creature rose from the waves, without a word, without a name. It did not come to frighten, it came to call the songs again. With gentle hands it led the tide, like an orchestra alive. And all the village followed close, as music bloomed from sea to stone. It moved along the harbor wall, past little boats and chapel bells. The mandolin of water played, the breeze through nets became a phrase. The people followed through the streets, with softer hearts and slower feet. Balconies, ovens, doors and stairs, filled with music in the air. And the creature rose from the waves, without a word, without a name. It did not come to frighten, it came to call the songs again. With gentle hands it led the tide, like an orchestra alive. And all the village followed close, as music bloomed from sea to stone. Some cried softly, some just smiled, some stood like children for a while. For every note that crossed the night returned a little piece of life. And even the dark old houses knew the sea had brought their voices through. At night the shoreline turned to gold, the fog grew bright, the wind grew slow, and from the waves with a ribboned grace, a quiet creature showed its face, made of foam and fishing thread. Moonlight laid upon its head a shell-shaped mask, a silver nose, thin pale arms like drifting clothes. And the creature rose from the waves, without a word, without a name. It did not come to frighten, it came to call the songs again. With gentle hands it led the tide, like an orchestra alive. And all the village followed close, as music bloomed from sea to stone. Moved along the harbor wall, past little boats and chapel bells. The mandolin of water played, the breeze through nets became a phrase. The people followed through the streets, with softer hearts and slower feet. Balconies, ovens, doors and stairs filled with music in the air. And the creature rose from the waves, without a word, without a name. It did not come to frighten, it came to call the songs again. With gentle hands it led the tide, like an orchestra alive. And all the village followed close, as music bloomed from sea to stone. Some cried softly, some just smiled, some stood like children for a while. For every note that crossed the night returned a little piece of life. And even the dark old houses knew the sea had brought their voices through. By dawn, the glowing shore grew pale. The creature faded with the swell. The shells were still, the ribbons wet, but no one in the town forgot. The fishermen sang while mending twine. The grandmothers hummed in kitchen light. A father held his child once more and sang the tune he knew before. For the sea remembers everything, every vow and every spring, every lullaby left unsung, every song of the old and young. What we lose is never gone, it waits in tide and waits in dawn. And when the heart is ready to hear, the sea returns it clear by clear. The widow opened up her door and danced a little on the floor. The young girl pinned a ribbon blue beside the mask the tide once knew. And once a year beside the bay, the whole village still goes to stay. At sunset on the quiet sand, to sing together hand in hand. For the sea remembers everything, every vow and every spring, every lullaby left unsung, every song of the old and young. What we lose is never gone, it waits in tide and waits in dawn. And when the heart is ready to hear, the sea returns it clear by clear. So if your life grows still and long, and you forget your own heart's remembers everything, and sometimes love returns as singing. By dawn the glowing shore grew pale. The creature faded with the swell. The shells were still, the ribbons wet, but no one in the town forgot. The fishermen sang while mending twine. The grandmothers hummed in kitchen light. A father held his child once more and sang the tune he knew before. For the sea remembers everything, every vow and every spring, every lullaby left unsung, every song of the old and young. What we lose is never gone. It waits in tide and waits in dawn, and when the heart is ready to hear, the sea returns it clear by clear. The widow opened up her door and danced a little on the floor. The young girl pinned a ribbon blue beside the mask the tide once knew. And once a year beside the bay, the whole village still goes to stay. At sunset on the quiet sand, to sing together hand in hand. For the sea remembers everything, every vow and every spring, every lullaby left unsung, every song of the old and young. What we lose is never gone. It waits in tide and waits in dawn, and when the heart is ready to hear, the sea returns it clear by clear. So if your life grows still and long, and you forget your own heart's song, go where the waves touch stone and sky, and listen more than asking why. The sea remembers everything, and sometimes love returns as singing.